Greetings YouTubers, this is my 2010 F-150. I'm going to show you how to take off the passenger side fender with the antenna connected. It's a little, well, it's not a lot of fun, but it can be done. Now you got two options here. You can drop the fender off and just cut the wire, or you can leave it all intact and disconnect the wire from the inside and snake it out through the hole. But for now, we'll go ahead and show you how to take this fender off. I've got it kind of laying here, and the first thing you want to do is try to get all these little bolts out of this piece here. You don't have to take this off, but I thought if I pulled this back, there's probably a connection here that would just pull this apart, and I can just pull this wire out. But no, this is all one big piece, and to get that piece off, you have to pop this little cover off. Then you gotta take these three little screws out. This back one back here in the back was a bear. I tapped on it, and I just kept working it and finally got it loose. But the other two came loose, and when you take that off there is a little piece here that slides down that you kind of pop off. That's if you want to take this antenna out without taking your fender off. So I figured I'd just go ahead and show you that anyway. So we've got this here ready to snake out, and I'll show you that on the inside. But in order to get this fender out, it's basically the same way that I did on the driver's side, which I made a video of. Now this one here, you got this foam here. You got to get a big screwdriver inside the fender here and kind of loosen all this stuff off. And when you get it loosened up, you can pull this fender out and kind of tear this apart. But before that, you got a bolt here you got to take off, which is on the inside. Open the door here, make it a little bit easier here. Right about there, there's a bolt there, and there's a bolt down here, but you see that down there, you cannot get that bolt on this side. You got to go on this side and get it from this side. But before you do that, I went ahead and took the wheel off, and I took the inner fender plastic piece out because I want to be doing some body work down here. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to get to, but I figured with all that off, it's just so much easier to show you that. But the other bolt that you got to take off is right here. Once you get these two off, then you can start taking these bolts here off on the top. These are all 10 mils. The headlight just kind of rests in the front of this fender with these little clips, so you can leave this headlight in, no problem. Then here we have some bolts that we have to take loose on the fender, which they bolt right here on this piece right here. But they're actually, if I walk around and show you, they actually go right here. And the other bolt goes right about there. You can see I oiled these up. Then you got one here and one here. And these two here are actually bolted right there on this frame piece. And you can get in here with a little tiny 10 millimeter socket and get those, but oil them up, it makes it a lot easier. And when you get all these bolts here out, then you get kind of pull back on this, and this will release this from this headlight, but do it gently. But once you get all these bolts out and everything, then you're good. The inner fender, which was pretty easy to take out, this one had a couple little tiny screws in it. One right there. One right there, and they're actually bolted. If I had the fender back up in here like it should be, they're actually bolted up under here. So once you get the inner fender out, pull the plastic out, you can get in there and do a lot more. But that's how I've gotten this fender off so far, and I don't think I've forgotten anything here or didn't tell you anything, but I didn't want to cut this and tape it. I wanted to do it the right way. And here is where I got to do my body work. Corner, the bottom of the rocker panel. The other side's done. This one's not as bad, but I still want to take this fender off far enough to get my rivets in here with my new piece and all that. So that's how this comes out. This here is the only thing that's kind of a bear to get, but when you put all this back together, you can just use some seam sealer, squirt a nice line all the way down and just go back together. So that's basically all the bolts there, and it does make it a little bit easier if you just go ahead and take off the wheel. It just gives you all this room. And also I've got to do manifold work, and that's another reason I'm taking this off for now. It gives me just so much more excess in here. All right, now for the antenna wire, I thought I was going to have to pull the radio out, but thank goodness no, I didn't have to. pull your glove box back. And by the way, my handle was missing on mine too. It's broken. Pull this down, and the wire connects right here. And I've actually got it pushed back. There's another little tab right here that you disconnect it from. And I think if I put my hand here, you can probably see. Let's see. There's part of the wire. It's just kind of hanging here. And all I really have to do is fish it back through the hole now. And that's basically how you disconnect that. The rest of this wire goes over to the radio. So we didn't have to take the radio out, which was good. So go ahead and pull this out. It may be a little tough to get this through this piece of plastic right here, so I might have to set the camera down and kind of help this out through there. So let me do that. All right, as for this, you just gotta pull on it until you pull this whole rubber thing out. Then the rest of this should come out. So you'll have to work your fingers pretty hard with this little piece of this little rubber grommet, but I'll put a little oil in that, and that's how you get this fender off. So that fender's off on that side, on the driver's side, and there's the passenger side. Let me give you another look at these bolts. There's two on the bottom right here that you got to take off. I think I forgot to tell you about those. Those are easy to take off. Yours might have a little plastic corner piece that kind of protects the bottom of the fender. Mine is in here. I can find it. It kind of sits on the corner. So you get a couple little screws on the front. Take all this off first. These are easy to get off. The bolts are 8 little millimeters is what I'm trying to say. And that's how that works. So remember, just snake your antenna back through the hole. You know, and do it that way. So the only problem I had was you know, getting that. Even with this still connected, it's still kind of a pain, but it can be taken apart if you have to, you know, and all that. So there you go. Figured I'd make a quick video, show you guys how this comes off. And I don't think I forgot anything. And when you disconnect all this here, all these bolts, you can push down on this a little bit and release this from the headlight and all that. So other than that, there you go, guys. Hey, let me know where you're watching from right now, and say hello and all that. So until my next video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.